What's up, guys, and welcome back to the DualSense podcast. This is episode 48. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jason, and I'm joined again this morning, as always, by my co-host, Travis. Travis, how are you?
Is that who I am? Or aren't we just tetrahedrons floating through the air?
We're just fucking fairy dust.
We're just Fugazi.
Yeah? You doing okay?
Yeah, I mowed, saw some bumblebees, and one of the neighborhood dads was staring at me, which is fucking weird. And
That
I was
is
like, dude,
weird.
you want to suck my cock? Just ask. So anyway.
I feel like that's from a movie.
Anyway, it was weird shit.
That is. Like he was staring at you like the whole time?
All
Or
right,
like
when I first
for
started,
like
he was like
30
leaning against his car just watching me. I was like, do you want to do it? Or you could come do it.
There's a movie where God, who is it? I want to say it's Will Ferrell, and he's like watching this guy's like this southern guy's like big jacked up pickup truck, and he's like in cut off blue jean shorts,
Dodgeball,
and he's dodgeball. And he's like cleaning the wheels, like getting there real nice and deep, like boy, and he's like playing with his belly button. So it makes me think of just Rodney's over there just watching you cut your grass. He's like, oh yeah, look at that boy, we'll mow that grass.
Get that Bermuda rod down nice, like get about 1.25 inches.
Well, Travis, I'm physically I'm better than I was last week. I'm just a little congested now, but I feel much better after you infected me. Mentally I'm exhausted. Emotionally I'm unavailable, and spiritually, I'm a sinner.
Sounds pretty normal.
Yeah, fairly normal. Well, Travis, before we get into what we're playing, we have a couple of housekeeping items here. First of all, we hit a milestone this week. We passed 1,000 downloads on the podcast, about 5 episodes early. Our goal was to get to 1,000 by our 1-year anniversary, which is sneaking up on us. So I guess congratulations to us.
We blow our own horn and you shoot champagne at each other.
But thank you to all of you that listen to the show. And we do have some regulars that listen every week. So we very much appreciate you and helping get us over the milestone. And, there's nowhere left to go from here but up, right? That's what they say. So, and then the other thing here is that we also had a listener from Down Under, from Australia, tweeted us this week, and they quote tweeted EB Games Australia, which EB Games doesn't exist in America anymore, I don't believe. But they quote tweeted EB Games Australia, and it was a meme talking about how people play horror games, and they just turned the brightness all the way up. And it was like it was Chris Evans from one of the Captain America movies, and it was just like totally just white, like looked like a bomb went off in Hiroshima, like a flash bomb flashing. And they said maybe if Travis turned the brightness all the way up, he would be able to play horror games. So what do you think? Would that change your mind about scary games?
If I didn't play without a headset, maybe. The thing that gets me is the noises running around in my ears.
Yeah,
especially with the 3D headset. Like it makes me feel like it's crawling on my shoulders into my neck. But the brightness is something I haven't tried though.
Yeah, because he'd normally ask you, it's like, oh, turn the brightness down so the logo is barely visible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could just jack that shit all the way up, and then it'll look distorted, but you won't find a dark corner probably in the game. So
that might help me with what's that game we played with where you had to have the batteries and the lights would go out on your camera?
Oh, Outlast.
Yes. God,
yeah,
that
was terrifying.
I made it through one level, and I remember right when you get in the house, you come around that corner and the body drops out of the ceiling.
Oh God, yeah,
that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I couldn't do that either. In your defense, that was something we were like passing the controller back and forth. I think that is. No, I'm all right. So anyway, Travis, tell me what you've been playing the last week.
Short teaser alert. I'm really excited for people to hear what you've been playing. But
okay.
So last night I just I did another FIFA career. I don't know why. I saw this guy on the subreddit, and he was getting these dudes. He got a guy that was like a 77 out of his youth squad, and I got really fixated on this idea of getting one scout that was all the way up, and then trying to build a team. So I picked France has 3 tiers, so I picked Nancy, or as they call it, Nancy, not whatever.
Yeah, that
It
sounds about right.
doesn't matter. I thought they had cool jerseys. So anyway, I've been goofing off with them last night for a little bit. I don't really know how I feel about it.
Okay.
I found a left back that was really tall and fast, and I moved him to a striker, and he went from like a 48 to a 60. So that was about the only thing I found that was interesting.
Mm.
I had a midfielder that was a 66. I mean, it's fine. I don't really know what I want to do anyway. I don't really know if I'll keep playing it, but anyway, that was interesting.
Hmm.
What else did I do? We did play some Wreckfest. I got to watch you do about 37 180s in a row after I died, and we'll get to that
Uh,
later.
uh-huh.
I was having a really hard time tonight that we played it. I wasn't on my game. I wasn't winning 4 in a row again. That's for sure. I re-downloaded F1
Oh.
so I can mess with that if I decide to. And they our league ended early, so they could start a new league on GT Sport. So that starts tomorrow. Well, yesterday, if you're listening to this on Monday, and I'm driving for Aston Martin. I actually have a teammate this year, so look out. Maybe,
Oh, wow.
maybe I can actually have some strategy conversations. That would be a miracle.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it.
Well, I've been playing a couple of things, as you can see here. But first of all, it's important that I give the backstory of why I'm playing what I'm playing. So the other night, it was actually Friday night last week after we recorded the podcast. You and I played Wreckfest, and we were just doing a race, a banger race, as they call it on there.
It was a banger.
It was a banger. And I was just racing, just in the middle of the race, and the PlayStation just shuts off. And for a second, I wasn't sure if I lost power because obviously the TV went black, but obviously the lights stayed on. So, like, literally, the PlayStation 5 just shut off. Like, no error message. It was just like, Meryl. That was it. Okay, great. It was weird. So, I went to go try and turn it back on. No dice. Okay. So then I get up and I go to push the power button on the PS5, thinking, well, whatever. It's, the controller didn't do it. Okay. No dice as well. So now I'm freaking out. So then I hold the power button again to try to get it to reboot in safe mode or whatever. Still nothing. Okay. Then I text you and I'm like, well, Wreckfest bricked my PS5. So long story short, Wreckfest, I can't say definitively that it bricked my PS5, but my PS5 is bricked, and it did occur while I was playing Wreckfest. So I had to wait until Monday to call Sony support because they're only open Monday through Friday if you want to talk to a human. I was on hold for an hour on Monday night. Finally talked to John out in probably California.
Was it John or was it like I am John?
And no, it was really John. But I think John was maybe like, Mexican American or something.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, yeah, but John was a nice guy. And John tried to talk me through some troubleshooting steps, which I had already done, by the way, because it lists them all on the PlayStation 5 support website. But that's fine. I did it. I humored John, and John walked me through it. And I told him that it was, toast. Nothing worked. He said, oh, okay, well, let me get you set up and whatever. So they sent me the box and all that. And I dropped it off at FedEx on Thursday evening. You know what? Let's get a status update real quick. Let's see where let's see where it's at. So it's on its way back to Sony Support Center, which amazingly is in Indiana, of all places, as we've discussed.
Do they send you a whole PlayStation, or do they just replace the part that's broken?
So it said that what they'll do is they'll either refurbish my console, which is fix whatever's wrong with it, or if they can't fix it, they'll send me a replacement console, which I really hope they have a little bit of a stockpile around if that's the case. So otherwise, I may be down for the count for a long time.
You better hope you got some cloud save data.
Yeah. So it's in Indiana. It has made it to the state of Indiana, and it still says it won't be delivered until Monday. God bless, whatever. With all that said, obviously no PS5. So I've been playing the Vita this week, or the Vita, as they say, across the pond over there in the UK, the Vita. And I have been playing Uncharted Golden Abyss on my OLED Vita, which is the prettier screen one, the fat one, the OG. It's a fun game so far. I'm in like chapter 3, which is very early on. It's got Nathan in it, which surprised you a little bit. So it's Nathan
Right.
Drake. There's no Sully so far that I know. It's some guy named Dante, I think. Anyway, it's got the same charm and wit and everything. And I tried to play this before years ago, but this time I turned off the gyro control for the aiming. Because you can manipulate the Vita to aim,
Hmm.
which is cool. But for me, it didn't work, so I turned it off, and it's actually a lot better that way. And I think that it uses the features of the Vita really well. Like you scrub your finger across the touch screen to like do charcoal like sketches of artifacts and stuff and different
Oh,
things
that's
like
cool.
that, which is cool.
They used a touchpad for that. Why haven't we done that on the controller?
Right? Yeah. Very few games use the touchpad at all, but it's a cool little game. So, and it's got Nolan North, who's the Nathan Drake voice actor and everything. So actually Sony Bend, who did Days Gone and Siphon Filter, they made Uncharted Golden Abyss.
Right,
So
right.
it is a AAA first party game on the Vita. It's not bad. So I'd like to keep going with it. It sounds like I'm still down for the count for a couple more weeks, maybe 3. So I'm hoping that the 5 gets back here before Ratchet. We'll see. So then the other thing that I've also been playing, which is the last thing, is Darkest Dungeon, and I've been playing it on my Slim Vita, the other Vita, and it's a roguelite dungeon crawler, like side-scrolling game, basically. So it's like Returnal in a way. Like if your characters die, you go back, you have to start over. It's cool. It's like you like hire these different classes of characters and you give them equipment and items and stuff, and then you go and you're just side scrolling through different like rooms basically, and you fight stuff and get gold and all that, and you just keep doing that till you get to the end of the game. So that's basically what it is. It's a good game. It's fun. It is difficult because you have to manage all these different things, but it's fun.
Mhm.
So that's it. That's all I've got. It's sad time.
I wanted to say I was thinking about Returnal earlier, and I've told you about my dream movie or my dream video game if I ever had a bunch of money to make one. That, if it was a movie, I would hire, like, Keanu Reeves, and then, like, the opening credits roll, Keanu walks on screen, and then some guy shoots him, and then the end credits roll. Um, or like
Yeah, you
or like if
yeah,
you
you said you want to make like a 60-second movie. Yeah.
yeah, or like it's a video game, like, it's like this whole world, it's all built up, and then, like, as soon as you die, you have to restart the game, and then I realized the other day that's what Returnal basically is. Like,
That is. That is.
but it's much less like, mine was gonna be much more petty, like, it was gonna be much more like, kinda like a dick move, like, "Oh, you died, start all over with nothing," like, that's what I was gonna go for.
Yeah, that is a cool idea for a movie. Oh, I guess Edge of Tomorrow, like that Tom Cruise movie, is
That's
kind of that
close,
way.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
like
guess that's what that is.
I feel like that started off as the idea, and the studio was like, "Okay, you gotta give us 90
Yeah,
minutes of that."
right, right. And they're like, okay, we'll do it 15 times. Well, Travis, let's jump into the news here without any further ado. Number one, developer Rockstar Games announced that the PlayStation 5 version of Grand Theft Auto 5 will release on November the 11th, which is Veterans Day, I believe.
Mhm.
The standalone and also upgraded version of Grand Theft Auto Online will also release on November the 11th and will be available for free exclusively to PS5 players for 3 months at launch. The best selling video game of all time will come to its third generation of video game consoles and its 10th platform overall. Publisher Take Two Interactive also revealed that they plan to release 62 games by 2024, including 21 in the current fiscal year. 4 core franchise games, 1 indie game, 10 mobile games, and 6 new iterations of previously released titles. And that's all by April of 2022, by the way. It's also worth noting that one of these titles was confirmed to be from Borderlands developer Gearbox. So, Travis, what do you think? Are you excited about Grand Theft Auto 5 again? Grand Theft Auto again on the PS5?
Yeah, that's what it should definitely be called. Probably the worst thing to happen on November 11th ever. Shout out, by the way, it's Armistice Day across the pond, I believe, not Veterans Day. So
Oh, okay,
shout out
okay.
to our listeners in other countries. And our
Fair.
Our Australian friend, you guys had some pretty badass, units in both world wars. You might wanna look that up. But anyway, we know that, one of the new iterations of a previously released title is 2K, right? That's easy. Check that one off.
I would think. Yeah, that's a good point. That's probably what that means. Yeah.
That's not a core franchise game. I guess maybe it could be. But anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, we can talk about that.
well, let's go back to GTA. I got ahead of myself. It's hard to fault them for doing this. I mean, I think was it last month or last year? It's made the most money that it's ever made in like that section of time.
Yeah, last year.
What do you and then people too, like you sent me that video yesterday where people are modding it and they're like playing as superheroes. I mean, it's basically turned into its own thing,
Yeah.
which is kind of wild. I mean, there's almost no way they can make a game that'll be as successful as that again. And
True.
it almost seems like just milk it until it dips, and then once it dips, we'll roll on six. Because you'd
Right.
think if it starts to dip and they announce, hey, okay, we're 12 months out on GTA 6, that'll bump it back up a little bit because people will be like, oh shit, let's play the old one again. People who may be like us who haven't been on it in 18 months or whatever, how long it's been. So
Right.
that's I can't fault them, but it is like, just as a selfish gamer, it's kind of annoying that we haven't gotten six yet. But it's okay. I'll just sit over here in the corner and wait. But Take Two is interesting. You know, God, that is a lot of freaking games by 2024. And
Yeah.
I'm mobile games are dead to me. So when people talk about mobile games, I don't even register what that means. But I would
Mm.
say I would say we know it's not a Borderlands, right? Would that be fair? Because I feel like we would have heard a rumor by now.
Yeah, they make it sound like the rumor mill makes it sound like Gearbox is making maybe something else other than Borderlands, although I think people are 50-50. Like
Mhm.
some journalists think it is a new like spin-off of Borderlands, like not a numbered title, but and then other people think it's like a new thing. So I don't know.
It's probably a remaster.
It could, you never know. It could be. So for me, Grand Theft Auto 5, I am excited to play the online again, especially since they're going to give it to us for free,
Right.
It sounds like it's going to it sounds like it sounds like it's going to come too with like it's going to be upgraded obviously for next gen. I think the online as well, not just the single player.
Mhm.
So, and there was that rumor a while back that they were going to basically put the game on the Red Dead Redemption 2 engine, which I think is would be a huge upgrade for
Oh, yeah,
GTA,
for sure.
because that's a great engine and the physics and everything. So I am interested in playing the online now. As far as from my understanding, the single player portion of the game, there is going to be no upgrade, no like
Mhm.
free upgrade path to that. Like if you want to play the single player, the upgraded next gen single player GTA 5, you're gonna have to buy it again.
Mhm.
So for me, that would be the third or fourth time buying that game.
Right. I
Which
just had a
I'm,
thought.
yeah,
Since they're giving us GTA Online for free, would it not make sense that GTA 6 is solely a single player game and that it Grand Theft Auto Online becomes its own thing,
I
like its
think,
separate
yeah,
entity, and then they like maybe
yeah,
they'll load in the map. That'll be the updated map, like they update the Warzone maps. It'll be the
that's a
new GTA 6 world.
That's a great idea. That's a great point. I'd say that's exactly how it's going to go. I don't see any other. I don't see any reason for it not to go that way. That makes the most sense because, like you said, all these games can just. I mean, if Warzone can just change their map, GTA can just change theirs, like you're saying. So, or they can always just like there's so many ways they could do that. Like they could just if you're on GTA Online, they could just you could go catch a plane at the airport and fly to whatever the other city ends
Oh,
up being in GTA
that would be
6. You know what I
cool.
mean?
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I think that would be a cooler way to do it, maybe. So I think you're onto something. But I probably will end up buying GTA single player again because I feel like the upgrade is going to be significant because it's Rockstar. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Right, right.
So I feel like it's going to be somewhat worth it, and I feel like I'm going to be interested in seeing it. But man, they are like you said, they are milking the shit out of this thing. I mean, this is the third it's been on. It launched on PS3 and Xbox 360, and then it was on PS4 that generation, and then now this generation. It's just unbelievable.
Be the 3rd generation I beat it on.
Yeah, right. And then as far as like Take Two with their games overall, the 4 core franchise games they're releasing this year, I think I saw where people are considering like their sports games to be core franchise games. So like they're saying that NBA 2K22 and WWE 2K22 are two of those four.
That's okay.
Yeah. And then they
I thought
think
we
that
got rid of WWE.
yeah, they brought it back. They
Yeah.
got rid of it for a year or two. Now they're bringing it back. So then that's two of the four is the rumor, and then
Mhm.
Fire Axis just announced this week or last week. It might actually be on the show here later. I can't remember, but they announced that they're making a new strategy game. Those are the people who make Civilization,
Mhm.
and they're on my 2K. So that might be the third one, and then the fourth one it sounds like might be this game from Gearbox. So that might be the four this year. Because so that leads me to believe that the six new iterations of previously released titles are like this remaster of Grand Theft Auto 5. The other interesting thing about that is that what are the five other new iterations of previously released titles that they're going to release between now and April? I mean, Take Two owns a lot of studios. Like you said, they could do a Borderlands remaster of something. Are they
Right.
going to do a Red Dead Redemption 2 next gen version? That would be fucking sick. I don't know. I don't know when or if they're ever going to do that. But if they do a Red Dead 2 next gen version, oh my god, I'll die. So I guess we'll see. Time will tell. Number two, upcoming PlayStation 5 exclusive Deathloop got the preview treatment from media outlets this week, Travis, and the overall sentiment is that it is very good, with a number of outlets predicting it will be one of the year's best games. In terms of new details, there were a few of those this week as well. We now know that players can discover quote unquote loopholes, which help ease the sting of death. There is one, for instance, that allows certain items to carry over between loops, and one that gives you 3 respawns per loop. Additionally, we also learned that the main antagonist, Juliana, can be either player or AI controlled, and Juliana players don't have to simply kill the other player either. They can also manipulate enemies and the environment, or they can be a friendly presence and leave weapons for the player instead. So there's a little co-op element there, perhaps. What do you think of any of this?
I thought I already knew that Juliana was AI or player controlled, or did I just decide that from the preview? I might have decided that.
Maybe, but I think that they haven't explicitly said that. Like, so mine for me personally, my understanding was that it was always player controlled. So I think the revelation here actually is that it's not always player controlled. Like
Oh,
sometimes
gotcha.
it's just the AI. Like
Mhm.
basically I could just join your game. Like you're playing and I get on, I see you're playing and I'm like, oh Travis, I'm gonna go mess with him, you know?
You're right. Why would you leave them? Excuse me. Why would you leave them weapons just to try to make it harder for you? I mean, that seems like an odd thing to do. Although I would have fun trying to get people to hitman kill you.
Right. It sounds like you can be like a help or a hindrance. So I didn't know that.
Mm.
That's new too. I always thought it was just, she's the bad guy, but
Mhm.
it sounds like that they can help as well.
I saw where Tony said that he basically thought it was a good game now, and he was on the fence before, which is interesting. Maybe it's just my
Mm,
arrogance, but like as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this will be cool." Like I didn't need a preview to think that this was a good game.
yeah.
I don't understand why people were on the fence about it in the first place. It's a cool idea.
Yeah. I'm really excited about it. I think it's September that it comes out now. I think it's going to be really good. And, I'm not into Dishonored really. Like I played the first one, part of the second one. Like they're fine to me. I understand why people think they're really good. But the fact that they've twisted off of that and made it a shooter, full blown shooter, really appeals to me. And I'm really excited about it. And I'm even more excited about how it uses the DualSense controller. They talked about that a
Mhm.
couple of months ago about how you can
Right.
like feel each bullet falling into the thing and all that stuff. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good game. And, you know, it, if it's as good as people act like, maybe it'll be in contention for game of the year, which would be crazy considering that it would be a Microsoft published PS5 exclusive that wins Game of the Year. So, what world are we living in here? But we'll see. It's exciting stuff. Number three, we learned quite a bit this week about the Division Heartland, Ubisoft's free to play spinoff on the Division universe. After around 20 minutes of closed alpha gameplay was leaked by a tester, we now know that the game takes place in a fictional mid American town called Silver Creek. The game currently features two modes, a PvE based expedition mode and a 45-player PvP VE mode called Storm. A brief developer commentary also mentioned that players will be, quote, surviving the most unpredictable virus contamination the series has ever seen, end quote. What do you
Hmm.
think? Did you get a chance to see any of this?
Right, yeah. The last sentence is different for me. We'll come back to that, but the expedition in 45 player mode sounds dope. That's perfect. That's what I want. That's kind of what I wanted this game to be anyway, and it lets us do our own thing where we can play co-op. I'm assuming we could play together, play expedition together, but it would be like what we used to do in the last game. And then now we have this awesome PPE mode. Hopefully it's put together really well and the matchmaking doesn't suck. Shout out to
Yeah.
Hood Outlaws and Legends. Um, the last
Yeah.
the last sentence is interesting to me because the virus is almost secondary to me of the whole series. Like the virus made
Sure.
all this stuff happen, but I'm not dealing with the virus really. You know, the stuff that we go pick up and take back to the what do you call it, the hub or the headquarter that would, build, oh, I
Mhm.
brought all this shit in. Now we're building up the medical facility. Like all that stuff serves the narrative, but the gameplay always felt separate from the narrative to me. I guess because of the way that we could replay everything 100 times. So I wasn't
Yeah.
really paying attention to the story. I'm paying attention to where the villains are. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see what this means. Does this mean now the virus can affect my player, or like, if I go into the wrong area and I get contaminated with the wrong mask or something? Now, maybe now I've less health, or I don't regenerate health, or something like that. I wonder what that means.
I think that the division is like we've talked about a little bit. I think last week. I think the division is perfect for a free to play spinoff.
Hmm.
And we know Ubisoft has said last week that they wanted to go this direction of high end free to play titles, and I'm really glad that they chose to start or try that with the division
Yeah, it's awesome.
because it's the perfect like persistent kind of open world game that they have for that. So I'm excited to play it, and I did get to watch. I scrubbed through, most of the footage. Did you
Right.
did you watch any of it or no?
Yeah, I skipped through like like you did basically. I just kind of picked out
Yeah,
random parts I thought were cool.
yeah. I mean, and it was rough, like like graphically and everything. Like you could tell there were some systems that weren't in place because it was a closed alpha. Like when
Hmm.
they were opening up loot, it was just saying like tier 1, tier 2, whatever, stuff like that. But it looked like the division. But I did notice that they had added some things. I don't know if you noticed this, but they added the ability to crouch
Right. Yeah.
and slide into a crouch and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So
Which is great.
yeah, I thought that was really cool. So
Mhm.
it's going to be interesting to see if they can maintain the feel of the division, like and
Over that
keep
environment.
if they can keep maintain the feel of the division but make it a free to play game. We'll see how that goes.
I wish they would have called it the Division, quote unquote. Fuck, it's the Division. That'd have been great.
Fuck, yeah,
I
the
hope they I
division,
hope they keep that shit.
Heartland. Yes, they've got to keep the banter. That's one of the best things about the Ubisoft games and really the Tom Clancy games. That they just have some of the best like just enemy AI banter.
Yeah.
It's
I
great.
wonder if they asked like special ops guys, like, hey, what do you hear when you're like, doing a mission? And they'll yell stuff like, fuck, it's the SEALs. Like, okay, we'll put that in there. You know?
like yeah, like a terrorist hunt on Rainbow Six, like Vegas or whatever. He's dead. We're fucked. Oh, number 4, PlayStation apparently doesn't just have big plans for its first party studios, but with its third party partners as well. In a comment on career social network LinkedIn, PlayStation Vice President and Head of Global Third Party Relations Christian Svensson stated, quote, just wait until you see what's coming from our third party partners too, end quote. This comment was in direct response to head of PlayStation Studios Herman Hulst's remark that more than 25 titles were currently in development for the PlayStation 5. What do you think?
Can we talk about Norwegian countries putting random consonants in names?
Yeah,
There's no
Svensson.
reason to be a V there. Like, what are we doing? But anyway, this could literally mean anything. What's to coming for our third party partners? Like, one assumes that they've given them all this money, so the games are going to be really cool. But I mean, of course, he's going to say that. I would like to think it's more like they have a state of play, and they give all their third party partners like participation trophies, just something weird that's out of left field. I don't. It's just hard to know without seeing stuff. Like I don't know. To me, it's like a grain of salt.
So I'm interested to see what they mean exactly by this because we know that they've been spending money with exclusive agreements and this sort of thing. And there's been a rumor that has come out this week that Sony may have gotten in bed as they have been doing pretty regularly here lately with Square Enix to maybe lock down a new exclusive Final Fantasy title.
Hmm.
There's in
That'd be
addition to
huge.
yeah, in addition to Final Fantasy 16, which we already know is exclusive to PlayStation 5 at least for a little while. There's now a new rumor, which we may even talk about this later too. I may have just blown that news nugget, but that there's this new rumor that there's another one. So I wonder if that's the stuff that he's talking about. It has to be, right? Because who
Right.
we know Call of Duty is going to come to PlayStation. Like, thanks, Christian. Like, that's not a big shock. You know what I mean? Like, but maybe it's stuff like that. Maybe it's stuff like GTA Online being free on PS5 for the first 3 months and that sort of thing. It's got to be stuff like that we can look forward to. So it's exciting. It's an exciting time. Number 5, Warner Brothers Interactive, the gaming division of Warner Brothers proper, is facing an internal breakup as a new merger acquisition between parent company AT&T and cable giant Discovery forces major changes. An AT&T spokesperson told Axios that, quote, some of the gaming arm will stay with AT&T and some will go with the new company, end quote. This deal, which is I'm sorry, an effort to compete with streaming giants Netflix, HBO, and Disney, will make life hectic for the likes of NetherRealm Studios, who make Mortal Kombat, Rocksteady, who do the Batman Arkham games, TT Games, who do the Lego games, and Avalanche Software, who's working on Hogwarts Legacy. What do you think? We've got a little deal going on here, a little merger and acquisition.
It's terrible news for the Animaniacs reboot I was hoping to get. I used to love that game when I was a kid.
Yeah,
This is interesting. I'm curious about how this will affect them. Like, I guess it's making their life hectic because it's all of a sudden it's like, who's our boss? Where's our revenue coming from? Where's our
yeah,
budget coming from? Stuff like that. But these games, like you see, Mortal Kombat, Batman, Hogwarts, these Lego games, these all they make money and they made money. So I'm sure that they'll be a priority wherever they fall. I wouldn't be too worried about it if I was them. But the thing is, it's like I'm sure they're all now in a holding pattern, which has got to be miserable when you're working on something new. Like you just,
right.
what do we do? Do we keep, what if these guys come in and then they want to add something in and it's stupid and they don't know what we're doing? Like those are the things I
hmm
would be worried about from them is, where's my money coming from? And are these guys going to try to put their fingers into everything?
I think you hit the nail on the head, and it's well said. It's for some of these teams, they're going to have new leadership. They're going to answer to new people. They're going to have new people poking and prodding around, trying to understand what they're doing and all that sort of thing. And that's kind of scary in a way, because if you've been working on a project for 2 years and then maybe they come in and say, no, we're not going to do that anymore. I mean, I doubt that happens. Like, it's going to happen, like you said, because these things are all going to make money, but you never know. And I guess that's kind of the nerve wracking part of it. But
Hmm.
it's a big merger though between AT&T and Discovery, and
Yeah,
it's going
really.
to yeah, it's going to change the landscape of all these studios here in the near future. So we'll see what happens. Number 6, Travis. We also have several news nuggets here. Feel free to join me here as always. First nugget: Naughty Dog announced a performance update for The Last of Us Part 2 this week, featuring 60 frames per second. Finally, the update is now available on the PlayStation 5. Probably going to go back and check that out.
I googled how many frames per second can the human eye see, and it said only 60. So how does that work? If how can the human eye see things above 60 frames per second? I'm confused.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing they stopped at 60 then.
Like if we get to 120 frames per second, am I just gonna fall over and like get a nosebleed? Like what's gonna happen?
And I don't know. There are a few games that play at 120 now, like Call of Duty Black Ops. You can play it at 120. My guess is that even if we can't like perceive like each individual frame, I guess that it still looks like inherently smoother. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
Like
guess.
like we can't. It's going to look different, I would think. I don't know. Maybe not. Also, Travis, Games beat reporter Jeff Grubb stated on Twitter this week that he has confirmed Bethesda's upcoming sci-fi RPG Starfield will be exclusive to Xbox and PC. So there's that. It's a little bit of a bummer, but you know what? Like I told you and John, I'm still not going to buy an Xbox. It would have to be a 10 out of 10 for me to do that, and I don't think it's going to be a 10 out of 10. I don't think those guys can make a 10 out of 10. VR space combat shooter game Solaris Off-World Combat released digitally for PlayStation VR this week, and PlayStation Plus members can get the game for 50% off for the first 2 weeks. It's interesting. I've never seen somebody give their game away for 50% off for 2 weeks.
Really? What about Days Gone? That might help them.
Maybe. Hand-drawn 2D adventure game Eterna Noctis will launch on PS4 on December the 15th. 2D action exploration game Reina and Jericho will be coming to PS5 at some point in the future. Website Push Square reported that PlayStation is an official partner of this year's Summer Game Fest, with their first opportunity to appear being June 10th at a premiere showcase. This is interesting. Here we go. We're going to maybe get a world premiere from PlayStation. I still think that they're going to do their own state of play. I mean, there's no way this is going to be the only thing they're going to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Also, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, and Charles Leclerc. Is that how you say his name? Verstappen will grace the cover of F1. Okay.
And Max Charles Leclerc. Didn't you take French?
Oh my God. Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, and Charles Leclerc will grace the cover of F1 2021.
Technically, Charles is from Monaco, but he's basically French.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay. Underwater survival game Subnautica recently got a PlayStation 5 upgrade, which also reduced the game file size from 14 gigabytes to 3.5 gigabytes on the PS5. We need more of this.
That's wild.
We need way more of this. Like I was saying last week or whatever week, if games can do this, then I'm not going to need that expansion storage drive.
You don't need it right now anyway.
Nah, true. Yeah, if my PS5 keeps frying itself, I'm not going to need shit. I'm going to go get an Xbox and play Starfield.
You just tell them to keep it.
I'm going to go play Starfield on my Xbox. Also, Travis, podcast favorite, Chivalry 2 will get an open beta next week on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and it will run from May 27th to June the 1st. And I'm sad that I won't be able to enjoy that with you, but you enjoy it, and all of you guys should definitely try it out.
Yeah, I'm glad that Chivalry isn't dead.
You've been sitting on that one. You've been sitting on that one for like 14 news nuggets. Oh, wow. Watch Dogs Legion will finally get a 60 frames per second mode on PlayStation 5 with title update 4.5 on June the 1st. It's exciting. We have to check that out. Sony filed for an esports betting system patent a couple oh man, that really snuck up on me.
It's an interesting time frame there.
Oh, wow. Oh man, that snuck up on me. Maybe I should leave that in.
There's a demon in you.
There was a demon. I have exorcised the demons. All right, let's try that again. I feel so much better. Sony filed for an esports betting system patent a couple of years ago, Travis, which outlined a framework where betting odds are calculated by a player's historical performance. So you'd be like watching somebody play Rainbow Six Siege, and then you can bet in real time is the idea.
Oh, that's easy. Easy game. I'll bet that you die. You just die all the time.
Right.
Game.
Also, a trophy list for a PS5 version of Saints Row the Third Remastered has appeared on trophy website Exophase, and they also later confirmed that this game is coming out later in the week. Roguelike action game Hades has been rated for the PS4 in Korea, which means that a release is imminent.
Which Korea?
Ooh, probably South Korea. I don't think they play video games in the North.
Interesting.
Yeah. Excited about that. I want to check that one out, so keep my eye out. Co-op third-person shooter Outriders will get more content in the future, according to publisher Square Enix, and the game is poised to be their next big franchise, according to a recent press release. The game drew 3.5 million unique players in its first month on the market, and the average playtime is around 30 hours. So congratulations to them.
I feel like that game is going to have a cult following.
Yeah, I agree. I'm still waiting for the sub $30 price. I think that game is best suited for $30 and under. Also, Returnal DLC will be coming to Sackboy: A Big Adventure via DLC on May 26th. That's fun.
Is it? Is Returnal DLC coming via DLC?
Oh, wow. Oh, I did it again. I did it again. Well, at least they know it's DLC. They're certain that it's DLC. Also, Saints... Here it is. Also, I don't edit this document anymore, as you can see. I just type this motherfucker and we just go for it. So we can confirm that Saints Row the Third Remastered is coming natively to the PlayStation 5, as we just talked about. It's on May the 25th, guys. And PS4 owners of the game will get a free upgrade. A new rumor on Reset Era from insider Navtra claims that publisher Square Enix will reveal a PlayStation 5 exclusive Final Fantasy title at E3, like we mentioned earlier, and a cross-gen title may also be revealed from developer Eidos Montreal.
It's called Penultimate Fantasy.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, indie publisher Devolver Digital plans to reveal 4 new games at Summer Game Fest. The PS3 build of Gears of War 3, which was leaked over a year ago, is finally available to play, but only on PS3 dev kits due to it having more RAM than the retail PS3.
Who has a PS3 dev kit? I mean, like, honestly.
You can probably, if somebody really wants to play this, you can probably get one on eBay at this point. Also, Travis, Blizzard held an Overwatch 2 multiplayer reveal live stream on Thursday night and revealed that the PvP modes will now be 5-on-5. Apparently, that's a big deal, and for Overwatch fans, whatever. The drummer for band CKY said on a recent podcast that he believes their music will be appearing in a new Tony Hawk game, meaning that a new Tony Hawk game is in development.
I haven't thought about CKY in decades, since Jackass.
Right. Biomutant publisher THQ Nordic revealed that the game will not launch with native 4K capability on PlayStation 5 due to technical issues. It will instead render at 1080p and then upscale to 4K. It's important to note that the PS5 is playing the PS4 version in backwards compatibility, first of all. And secondarily, THQ Nordic also said that they are working on a native next-gen version of the game. So if this bothers you, just hold off. Publisher Deep Silver announced this week that the Time Splitters franchise will be making a comeback at developer Free Radical Design. And also, Push Square reported that Berserk creator Kentaro Miura passed away this week at the age of 54. It's pretty big news in the industry, although I'm not into any of that, so RIP. Website PlayStation Lifestyle reported that analytics firm Ampere Analysis has estimated that the PS5 outsold the Xbox Series X and S combined by 2-1 in the first quarter of 2021. Wow. It's not looking like much of a race to me for this current gen. Also, Uncharted co-creator and former Naughty Dog employee Amy Hennig is working on a new AAA single-player story-driven action-adventure game built on Unreal Engine. Take-Two Interactive's latest financial results revealed that the GTA franchise has sold over 345 million units across all games, and that the Red Dead Redemption franchise has sold over 60 million. Both are insane. Embracer Group revealed that they have 160 games in development. Good God, 90 of which will be released by April 2022. That is insane.
They bought 90,000 studios. I mean, that's
right.
I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say. It's like growing bees. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they got 90,000 studios. They've got to start releasing something sometime. That is insane. 90 games they're going to release by April 1st. Jesus. Website PlayStation Universe reported that Sony filed another patent, which is aimed at reducing the lag on its PlayStation Now service. Electronic Arts has hired former vice president and studio head of Monolith Productions, the team behind Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, to open a new studio in Seattle to build a new open-world action game.
Called Shadow of Liberals.
Called Shadow of Seattle. An alleged Diablo 4 test file was uploaded to the PlayStation Network with a 40 gigabyte file size and a 17 plus age rating for both the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So that's probably a summer announcement that's on the way here. Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown has also been uploaded to the PlayStation Network with a file size of just over 12 gigabytes, meaning that a release is imminent. The official Crysis Twitter account teased a potential remaster of 2011's Crysis 2 this week, so get ready for that announcement as well. All these people are teasing all their announcements that are about to happen in the next month.
Just make the announcement. Why tease it? You basically told us.
Yeah, just come on. Website Gamatsu reported that the Falconeer Warrior Edition for PS4 and PS5, which we mentioned last week, will launch on August the 5th. Survival horror game Made of Skur will get a native PS5 version on May 26th. A free update will also be available for PS4 owners of the game. I feel like we talk about this game every week. God. Action Souls-like game Lies of P, a dark reimagining of the classic tale of Pinocchio,
Great.
will release at some point in the future on PS5.
This sounds really fucked up.
It sounds very interesting. I watched the reveal trailer. It looks interesting too.
Did you touch your pee while you watched it?
Yeah, I touched my pee and I lied.
Is that how it grows too?
Yeah, I gotta lie. It's the only way I can have sex. Turn-based strategy game Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormground will feature full crossplay at launch on PlayStation 4.
Sigmar balls.
Super Bomberman R Online will come to PS4 as a free-to-play game on May 27th. Hilarious. This is that game that was on Stadia for money, by the way. You had to pay for it then, and they said that it was only possible on Google Stadia.
Right.
Now here it is, free-to-play game. Medieval open world action game Rustler will launch on PS4 and PS5 on August 31st. Action RPG. Jesus Christ. Oh, action adventure. I'm dying, dude. Oh, action. I can't even do it. Action adventure RPG Kataria Fables will launch on PS4 and PS5 on September the 3rd. Publisher Axis Games announced Blazing Strike, a new sequel to Blazing Saddles. No, it's really a new 2D fighting game coming to PS4 and PS5 sometime in the spring of 2022. Developer Romero Games announced an expansion for Mafia management game Empire of Sin. It will add a new boss, new gangsters, and new rackets, and will release on PS4 later this year. And finally, Komatsu reported that Cyberpunk action shooter Foreclosed will launch on PS4 and PS5 on August the 12th. And that's all for the news this week. I'm going to now hand it over to Travis for this week's new games.
On May 18th, we had Chess Knights Shinobi, Leisure, Suit, Larry, Wet Dreams, Draw Twice. Sounds like a Die Hard.
It does.
Solaris Off-World Combat, or as you call it, Solaris. On May the 19th, we had 0 degrees, but we don't know if it's Fahrenheit or Celsius. We also have Aerial Knights Never Yield, Bibby and Tina at the Horse Farm. God, that sounds terrible. Outbreak Endless Nightmares on the 5 and the 4, Sunless Skies Sovereign Edition, Tank Mechanic Simulator. There we go. That's what I want.
Go.
Yeah,
be Brad Pitt.
Fucking the Army put that out. That sounds like a terrible game. On May the 20th, we had Adaki Smash. That is the Asian version of Hulk. We also had Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl. Just Die Already on PS4, which is a very weird game. You're like an old person and like everything kills you and your arms come off, and it's kind of like Pain.
Yeah, I remember this one.
On the 20th, we also have Manifold Garden, Rise of the Slime, and The Takeover. On the 21st, we have Cosmic Top Secret, which actually looks pretty sweet. You should look that up if you get a chance.
Okay.
I think it's interesting. We also have Elemental War, Guards, Knockout City, which is free for 2 weeks, and Shin Megami Tensei the Third Nocturne HD Remaster.
Nice. Not bad. And that's all for the new game releases this week. Travis, let's begin to wrap things up here. While you're busy dying over there, wrestling with your microphone, let's wrap things up and talk to me about what you're going to be playing in the week ahead.
I guess I'm gonna race tomorrow. I haven't practiced at all, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I don't even know where the track is. I should really look that up. Other than that, I'll probably. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to my other FIFA or keep playing with this one I made yesterday. The other one that I have, I'm like really, really good. Like I have like 4 guys in the 90s and just obliterate people. So I don't really know if I'll do that or not. Keep playing with that one.
Maybe it's time for a change.
Yeah, and I'll probably mess around on F1 some. I have a career save on there. I think I'm on like race 7. So I think my next race is actually Monaco. or Monza. I can't remember, but I was putting off Monaco because it's like impossible to drive there. It's like street circuit, and the walls are really close. Like nobody races it online because you can't pass. So I've been
Right.
putting that off because it's going to be a shit show if I try it. I probably on F1 they let you they call them flashbacks. So if you just absolutely destroy your car, you can hit a flashback and it'll take you back like 20 seconds and you can hit play and redo what you messed up.
That's cool.
So I'll probably do that like 36 times, especially since I haven't played it in forever. Anyway, that's probably all I'll get into.
Well, for me, I'll probably not probably. I only have one choice. I can continue on playing my Vita this week because, like I said at the top, I don't have my PS5, so it's toast. So I'll probably continue on with Uncharted Golden Abyss some more, see if that holds up. And then I don't know what if I'll play any more Darkest Dungeon or not. I have so many games on Vita that I want to play and that are good games that I kind of end up. I forgot to mention this, I guess, but last night actually I played Super Stardust Delta for a little bit, which was a launch game on Vita, and it's another Housemarque game. It's a twin stick shooter, so like I just randomly play stuff on there because I have so much on there. So I'll definitely play Uncharted for sure because I'm kind of into that a little bit. But I cracked and I bought one more Vita game, and I bought a physical game. I bought Hot Shots Golf World Invitational
There you go.
for the Vita, which the Hot Shots golf games are good. Yeah, I'm sure you played one, but
Hmm.
the one on the Vita is supposed to be pretty good. So I got that. So I'll probably check that out too whenever that comes in this week and see what that's about. But that's really about it. And other than that, I'm just in a holding pattern and I'm waiting on my PS5 to return from Indiana. And I'm really hoping that it comes back just in time for Chivalry and Ratchet and Clank. That's all I need. I just need it back by June 8th. Please, Sony. Please, for the love of God. But with that, let's get out of here, Travis. If you guys enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss an episode. And perhaps leave us a review or a comment or some stars or thumbs up or whatever on your podcast service that you listen on. Also, if you have a friend who you think may enjoy a PlayStation podcast like this, where they can get all of the week's news, rumors, new game releases, and a little bit more in the world of PlayStation in less than 90 minutes, then please, by all means, share us with them. You can also check us out on the YouTube if you wish there as well. And if you want to talk with us, you can find us on Twitter at the DualSense Pod. And you can tweet at us or tell us we suck or tell Travis to quit being a baby with his horror games, whatever pleases you. With that, we'll get out of here. You guys have a great week. Thank you for listening. Stay safe. Bye bye.